So welcome to the brewhouse side of the Huntsville brewhouse. Here is our 5-hex system. We have our mash slaughter tun and our kettle on this side here. This is where the magic happens. We're adding grains into here, whether that be barley, wheat, oats, or a few other kinds. And we're creating a recipe with different mixtures and different proportions that we're able to get sugars out through our process, add it into our kettle. We put our hops into the kettle, and this is where beer actually comes together. Currently, there's no alcohol on this side. We have to push it over to our fermenters, and that's where the yeast eat. If there's no sugars for the yeast to eat, there's no alcohol, and if there's no alcohol, it's not really a beer, is it? My day on this side can seem a little cramped, as maybe the video is showing you, as 6'1" and a bit of a larger man. You just have to be careful, but I've grown to love this space and know every nook and cranny and how to dodge every little pokey that there is on here. A regular day for me here is about 8 hours. The process is taking about 6, and then some cleanup as well. Typically we're once a week brewing here, and then once a week filtering and packaging as well. Again, with a smaller size, and we're really just going out to our restaurant side. It doesn't have the demands of, say, an LCBO or a beer store market that we're dealing with in Baysville. The brew house, again, down in Baysville, is 4 times the size of this, and we're using it 2 times a day, 5 to 7 days a week. This is 600 liters once a week, and it really goes as fast as the people out there want to drink it on the other side of the glass. Without those people, I would be brewing once a month, but apparently we're making good enough beer here that you keep coming back and making my job easier, that I can put a lot of things out there. We've really been able to open up our portfolio for brewing. Again, with larger size comes more responsibility of putting out what will sell on the market, whereas here we get to put some funkier styles out. So we did a traditional Brett Sour. We've done an oak smoked wheat malt, or oak smoked American wheat malt beer. And a few other along the lines of maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but you find more specific, more wild ideas that we can blend in with our core group that we know sells so well to the masses. So beer, there's not one way to make beer. There's many guidelines. However, the beauty of beer is, again, much like cooking, you could use one ingredient. If you really wanted to, and you could make a very plain and boring beer every time, and I could be here every week making the same lager. But the best part is making it with new and crazy ingredients. We've done everything from cocoa nibs to maple to pineapple, which didn't work out very well, and that was my recipe, and it's been a bit of a joke, but you know, this is the trials and errors of brewing, and it's so interesting that people can get stuck on one beer for their entire life. I grew up drinking a little too early probably, but on regular, let's call them Olsen old shots and Bud Light, and then I had to move on. And what I realized is that I couldn't eat pizza every day the same way that I couldn't drink the same beer every day. There's too many flavors, there's too many combinations of things. I need to explore, and that's part of why I love brewing so much, is the exploration of brand new flavors. I know that there's some beers out there that don't hit everyone's fancy, but again, we're trying to give different experiences to everybody so that they can have something unique to try if they want to, or something a little more plain, a little more reserved, because that's in their wheelhouse and we're fine with that too. So I name most of the beers coming out of here, whether people agree with them or not. A lot of them are small references for family, friends, co-workers, you know, social media sort of stuff, current events, whatever I can find. I know that sometimes not everybody's in on the joke, but what people have come to know now is when they see a name that they have no idea where it's coming from, they seem to enjoy asking, like, okay, where did that come from? Like, how did you come up with these names? These can be anything from our tangerine pale ale called Ricky Tan, or Ricky Tang was named after a character in Rush Hour 2. Why? I don't know. But we also had a North American lager named Little Yellow Blanket, and that is named after a song for me and my wife that I got to throw in as our little anniversary song and a tribute to her that she didn't know was coming out. So I get to selfishly pick a lot of names. Being a brewmaster I was at the end of my university degree, and I was going to get trapped behind a desk after I did a master's and PhD. That was really apparently the path I was supposed to go. I knew that I had love for beer, but I didn't know that you could really brew in a situation like this where you're attached to a restaurant or even in a main brewery. I didn't know how you got into that. I took a trip with my parents to Ireland, and on a hectic 3-hour drive from Cork, which is in the south, all the way to Dublin in the north, with my dad in a right-hand drive car going way too fast on a highway that he didn't know anything about. We got to our hotel and I said, I just need a beer. And I went out and I said, you guys stay here or do whatever you want to do, and I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go explore a little by myself to calm down. I ran into the Porterhouse pub in Dublin, Ireland. They had 16 to 20 taps on that I can remember, and I said, where do you get all this stuff from? Like, everywhere that I'm from, it's like major 4 brands and that's it. And everything in Ireland to that point was Guinness and hard ciders that I didn't enjoy. And they said, well, we make it all in-house. And so I didn't even know that this was a thing. Canadian brewing, by the time that I had really figured it out, hadn't hit the wave that you can see in almost every small town now, that more and more people are drinking craft beer. So I found the Niagara College program through a friend, applied, skin of my teeth, I'm sure I got in, and started work from there. I had a great experience there. I worked at one other brewery out near Ottawa for our summer internship, and they actually had one of their brewers leave. And so I got thrown into the fire of, if you really want to be a brewer, here you go. And I knew from that day it was a lot of hard work and there was some crappy hours, but that was part of the gig, and I knew that if I could stick it through the rougher times of being the newbie who was making mistakes, this was an industry for me. Knowing just that, again, I have so much passion for flavored food, beer, that includes wine and spirits and everything else that sort of people just enjoy but don't need in a sense. That's what really drove me to this industry. It's not about this being a vital service, but it's about being able to relax and have some fun and just enjoy yourself. So one of the things about brewing that seems like a lot of fun and can be is taste testing. And you always get jabbed by people, oh, what do? Drink all day? You're a brewer. Sort of. My job is to make sure that everything in these tanks is the way that it's supposed to taste. And daily quality checks are just a perk of the job. This beer here is a Baltic Porter that we're actually doing in collaboration with Trestle Brewing over in Parry Sound. This was one of the other things that really drew me into craft beer, is that the collective group of brewers within Ontario, within Canada, and seemingly across the globe, we all seem to be a family. We work in collaboration with many different brewers from many different places, and it's nice to be able to bring them in here and have a day with them and chat about our experiences. Unlike maybe some of the more corporate industries where nobody wants to share secrets, this is an industry where everyone wants everyone to be better, because by helping ourselves and helping others, the entire industry gets better and we all prosper together. This is a beer that should be launched within the next month or two. I'm not 100% sure, but we are sending half the volume to Trestle in Parry Sound and half of it here, and we just like to promote each other. Again, there's this sense of community that you get in the craft world that you don't get with any other competing industry, where you just have friends. And you can walk into all these different breweries and have friends greet you every time, whether you know them or not. It's It's so easy and it's so fun to be in this industry once you get your foot in the door. You might as well taste it. Yeah, pretty good. This is a great part of the Huntsville Brew House, something that we get a lot of questions of, you're just giving beer away for free. This is our tasting sample bar. It allows you to come in here, whether that's you're sitting down for a meal, sitting down for a beer, or just coming in off the street and curious about what we do. You can try any of these beers as they're constantly rotating, and it allows you to give a try before you buy almost mentality to it. We want you to try our product. We're very open with that, and we think that you'll find something that you like, whether that's anywhere from our traditional German Pilsner to our core Spark House that's been a flagship for us for many, many years, or any of our other more intriguing creations. We again will find you a beer that you will enjoy on this side of the bar. Finally, our pub is such a wonderful place, and it's always filled with so many different people, whether it's a younger crowd or an older crowd or a business crowd or a party crowd. We have had some comments from people saying, we didn't know that you would have our family in for lunch, because they believe that this can be a brewery and that means bar and alcohol, and we're much more than that. Our CEO and owner is based off of being a